Mr. Skokie leader. The National Socialist Party of America will be holding a peaceful public assembly in a Skokie public park for its members on May 1st, 1977. The demonstration is to begin at 3 p.m., last 20 to 30 minutes, and consist of 30 to 50 demonstrators marching in a single file back and forth in front of the village hall. The marchers are going to wear uniforms which include a swastika emblem or armband. We are going to carry a party banner containing a swastika emblem and signs containing such statements as white free speech for the white man, and free speech for white America. The demonstrators will not distribute handbills, make any derogatory statements directed to any ethnic or religious group, or obstruct traffic. We will cooperate with any reasonable police instructions or requests.
No! We will file an emergency injunction and we will fine them $350,000! This will not happen! Injunction. The city court has ruled that the National Socialist Party is not allowed to hold an assembly in Skokie.
This decision is impulsive! We will repeal! The constitutional right of free expression is a powerful medicine in a society as diverse as ours. It is designed and intended to remove restraints from public discussion, putting the decision as to what views shall be voiced largely into the hands of each of us, in the hope that the use of such freedom will ultimately produce more capable citizens and a more perfect government. To many, the immediate consequence of this freedom may appear to be offensive verbal utterances. These are, however, within established limits, in truth, necessary side effects of the values which the process of open debate permits us to achieve. We cannot lose sight of the fact that in what otherwise may seem a trifling and annoying instance of individual distasteful abuse of a privilege, these fundamental societal values are truly implicated so long as the means are peaceful. The communication need not meet the standard of acceptability. Against this perception of the constitutional policies involved, we understand that there are particular cases that call for the reversal of this right. First, the principle contended for by the state seems limitless. How is one to distinguish this from any other offensive word? Surely the state has no right to cleanse the public debate to the point where it is grammatically correct to the most squeamish among us. For, while this particular symbol is perhaps more distasteful than most others, it is nevertheless often true that one man's vulgarity is another's lyric. Indeed, we think this is because government officials cannot make unbiased decisions, that the Constitution leaves matter of taste and style so largely to the individual. Finally, we cannot indulge the assumption that one can forbid particular words without also running a substantial risk of suppressing ideas in the process. Order the door!
Distasteful mode of expression was thrust upon unwilling or unsuspecting viewers, and the state might therefore legitimately act as it did in order to protect the sensitive from otherwise unavoidable exposure to this crude form of protest. The ability of government to censor people solely to protect others from hearing it is dependent upon the proof that substantial privacy interests are being invaded as an essentially intolerable manner. To speak to this, the hearing on plaintiff's motion for an emergency injunction, a resident of Skokie testified that he was a survivor of the Nazi Holocaust. He further testified that the Jewish community in and around Skokie feels the purpose of the march in the heart of the Jewish population is to remind the 2 million survivors that we are not through with you, and to show that the Nazi threat is not over and it can happen again. Another resident of Skokie testified as the result of defendants' announced intention to march in Skokie, Jewish organizations within the village and surrounding area were called, and a counter-demonstration of an estimated 12,000 to 15,000 people was scheduled for the same day. There was opinion evidence that the defendants' planned demonstration in Skokie would result in violence.
The display of the swastika, as offensive to the principles of a free nation as the memories it recalls may be, is symbolic political speech intended to convey to the public the beliefs of those who display it. It does not, in our opinion, fall within the definition of fighting words, and the doctrine cannot be used here to overcome the heavy presumption against the constitutional validity of the prior restraint. Nor can we find that the swastika, while not representing fighting words, is nevertheless so offensive and peace-threatening to the public that display cannot be enjoyed. We do not doubt that the sight of this symbol is an adherent to the Jewish citizens of Skokie, and that the survivors of Nazi persecutions, tormented by their recollections, may have strong feelings regarding its display. Yet it is entirely clear that this factor does not justify enjoining defendant's speech.
The court's decision implies that First Amendment protection would not be denied to the use of the swastika as a form of fighting words. While we originally did not vote in favor of this motion, we are now stating our agreement with the majority's position that First Amendment protections were applicable to the National Socialist Party of America's challenge to the Illinois injunction.
Wrong. I am just as white, and I completely disagree with all of you. Fake news. Alright, so, what were your feelings on this case? Swastikas, dude. Swastikas, Brad.
Wait, okay,
Whoa.
actually, what are we supposed to say, though?
I think that it's good that we are working to protect our First Amendment, and many of the things that the judges said were very valid about saying that it's hard to draw the line of how far is too far in the sense of censoring people and what they can and cannot say. But I also understand that obviously this was something that was very severe and it took a lot of lives, and so it's a very sensitive topic, especially in the area that it was occurring in.
Yeah, I kind of have the opposite feeling, though. I think that, like, the Holocaust was a really sensitive thing, and having to have the swastikas all around them in their cities just is not a good thing. So I feel like, I don't know, I disagreed with the Supreme Court's decision. I felt like they were being slightly insensitive to the fact that, they went through an awful thing, and they had a rally the same day, and Justice White, the reason kind of made him look like Trump is because he sounded a lot like Trump in his opinions, and he was just really to the point, very blunt. So
Yes. I think, though, that the town should have been allowed to make sure that it was in another place. Like, I understand if they wanted to have their rally and they could find somewhere to have this rally, but I also realize that it probably shouldn't have necessarily been in
Skokie.
Skokie.
They could have done it anywhere.
Yeah, they could have done it somewhere else, and I think it's good that it ended up not being in the town.
Yeah,
So I think it's good that it ended up being somewhere else, because it would have been a little inappropriate to end up in Skokie, where there were so many Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they can't march. Like, that's totally up to them. Do what they want to. But at the same time, like, if you know it's sensitive for them in that area, you may as well just, like, be nice.
And the town was obviously against it, so I understand that they should have